I have nothing interesting to say. I look insane.
Poor Zegler.
It's kind of sinking in more and more that tomorrow is happening and the trailer is coming out.
I deserve to be paid for every single one.
In Hollywood, whispers travel fast, quiet yet explosive. I don't need your business, thanks, is the sentiment echoing among insiders regarding Rachel Zegler's latest film. Reports suggest that the studio is contemplating a drastic move, recasting the lead mid-production, a notion that just weeks ago would have seemed unthinkable.
What an idiot I've been as a young person in this industry who has no filter and no idea what she's doing.
The internet is not my biggest fan. It never has been, but especially isn't these days. I've made some stupid choices.
Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. It's Hollywood, baby.
Everyone's ignoring my phone calls, whatever, it's chill, I don't even care, Zegler reportedly said, reflecting a growing tension on set. This isn't about creative differences or emergencies. It's about the alleged difficulties and volatility surrounding Zegler that have left producers scrambling for solutions. The official narrative remains vague, filled with terms like adjusting timelines and creative restructuring, but behind closed doors, panic is setting in. Quiet meetings, escalating legal reviews, and a sense that the film may not survive Zegler's involvement are becoming increasingly apparent.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
After the backlash from her portrayal in Snow White, which turned her into a viral meme for all the wrong reasons, this film was supposed to be Zegler's redemption. It was a stripped-down indie drama featuring powerhouse co-star Marisa Tomei, focusing on character and chemistry rather than CGI or nostalgia. It was meant to showcase Zegler's range, maturity, and professionalism. Instead, it feels like déjà vu. Another film, another meltdown, and another PR nightmare threatening to derail the project.
Everyone's just ignoring my phone calls. Whatever, it's chill. I don't even care.
Insiders claim the damage may be irreparable and the producers are acutely aware of it. Studios rarely mention the word recast unless something has gone catastrophically wrong. It's a last resort that can burn budgets, disrupt schedules, and jeopardize the entire investment. The mere fact that it's being considered speaks volumes about the severity of the situation. Some insiders suggest Zegler has lost the room, while others argue she never had it to begin with. The murmurs are growing louder. This film is hanging by a thread, and that thread could snap unless changes are made quickly. So, what went wrong this time?
I'm a very talented, capable individual. I'm here for a reason. I can do it.
According to sources, it didn't start with an explosive argument, but rather with subtle eye rolls and passive-aggressive behavior. From the first week on set, crew members noticed a familiar energy, Zegler allegedly treating the process as if she were doing everyone a favor. One lighting technician reported that she would stroll in late, iced coffee in hand, acting as if she were above it all. Another crew member claimed it felt like everyone else was merely a prop in The Rachel Show.
Cry me a river, she's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
Tensions escalated when Zegler reportedly clashed with director Julia von Heinz, not through direct confrontation, but by sighing at creative notes, pushing back on blocking, and questioning the story's direction. Then came the rewrites. Multiple sources claim Zegler demanded changes to her dialogue mid-shoot, insisting the scenes weren't empowering enough, despite the script being locked and her not being the lead. It became less of a collaboration and more of a takeover, grinding the film's momentum to a halt.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
Things spiraled further when a key co-star, described as the emotional anchor of the film, reportedly walked off set. Not in a dramatic fashion, but quietly, as if it were the final straw. The atmosphere became so tense that one crew member described it as chilling, while another remarked, "That's when we knew this wasn't going to end well." The actor, a respected industry veteran, allegedly refused to continue working with Zegler until the situation was addressed. Studios speak for "get her under control or I'm out." The studio's inability or unwillingness to manage the situation led to cameras stopping and rumors of a recast swirling.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it. All right.
This wasn't an isolated incident. The ripple effects were immediate and brutal. Once the co-star exited, the vibe on set reportedly collapsed. Morale plummeted, and crew members began rotating shifts to avoid being near Zegler's trailer. One assistant described the environment as toxic, stating, "That's the only word for it." Even minor scheduling tasks became nightmares, as no one wanted to be the next target of what they called Rachel's unfiltered moods. It wasn't just diva behavior, it was disruption on a scale that halted the creative process. What made matters worse was Zegler's apparent indifference to the tension, claiming she was the one being undermined and even accusing crew members of sabotaging her energy.
Studios really need to go back to what they originally did, which was tell your stars to shut up and not say things, because no one is paying to hear your star say offensive things off the screen.
When the studio attempted to control the narrative, it unraveled even faster. Their official line about scheduling conflicts fell flat, as everyone could see the real issues at play. When your lead actress is feuding with the director, alienating the cast, and walking off mid-take, that's not a conflict, it's a meltdown. And here's the kicker, this wasn't Zegler's movie. She was meant to play a supporting role in a mother-daughter drama designed to showcase Marisa Tomei's depth and subtlety. Yet somehow, Zegler managed to make it all about her again. Every time she steps onto a set, the same pattern emerges. Collaboration breaks down, egos clash, and the film's integrity takes a backseat to damage control.
Now looking like it is seriously on life support.
This time, however, there's no billion-dollar Disney machine to sweep the drama under the rug. No marketing push to obscure the problems. Just a modest indie film suffocating under the weight of her behavior. Reports indicate that Zegler and Tomei got along during filming, but things took a turn afterward. Then came the silence. The kind that only occurs when the industry decides it's no longer worth protecting someone. No tweets, no Instagram posts, not a single co-star, not even Tomei stepped forward to offer the usual boilerplate defense.
I'm gonna be on a talk show tonight and I'm gonna talk shit about them on the talk show. Talking shit on the talk show.
The absence of support was deafening, signaling that Hollywood was distancing itself from Zegler. Even more telling, industry veterans, directors, stylists, and former collaborators began quietly removing her from their highlight reels. A producer who once praised her star quality reportedly scrubbed their social media of Zegler mentions entirely. A prominent casting director allegedly told their team she's not worth the insurance risk, referring to her growing reputation for being disruptive and unpredictable.
According to reports, Gal and Rachel got along during filming. It's afterwards that things took a turn.
This isn't gossip, it's damage assessment. When those who build careers in this town start labeling you a liability, it means the industry is moving on without you. The comments ignited outrage rather than laughter. Audiences are exhausted, industry insiders are frustrated, and even her defenders are realizing that her version of empowerment seems to leave scorched earth in every room she enters. It's not confidence, it's entitlement. No amount of Instagram poetry or feminist jargon can disguise the fact that she's allegedly tanking another production.
Rachel Zegler is a no-name actress. She's barely been in anything, actually. If you look at her IMDb, West Side Story was the first one that... it was the first movie she was in, basically.
Behind the scenes, studio executives are caught in a power struggle. One faction wants to recast ASAP to salvage the project and send a message, while another fears the backlash that might follow. They're walking a PR tightrope, weighing the cost of keeping her against the optics of removing a Latina lead mid-shoot. But the truth is, this situation isn't about identity, it's about behavior. One veteran producer reportedly told a colleague, "We've worked with strong women. We've worked with outspoken women. This isn't that. This is ego run wild."
That she believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else.
When you consider how many women in Hollywood have carried entire productions with grace under fire, the comparison becomes stark. Zegler isn't the rule. She's the exception, and not in a good way. Even industry trades have started hinting at creative realignment and lead role evaluations. Hollywood speak for she might be out. Fans are already fan casting her replacement as if it were a game, with Twitter threads listing actresses who could save the movie. The public isn't asking if Zegler should go. They're imagining what the film could look like once she's gone.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
Now we find ourselves at the edge of a cliff, contemplating what might be the end of Rachel Zegler's short-lived Hollywood reign. She Gets It From Me was supposed to be a quiet redemption arc, a character-driven reset. Instead, Zegler may have burned her last bridge, not with one scandal, but with a pattern that even her most loyal fans are struggling to ignore. When every set you step on turns into a battleground, every press tour devolves into a soapbox rant, and every co-star allegedly walks away shaking their head, at what point do people stop making excuses?
Rachel, did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, cry me a river? She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
Hollywood isn't shy about cutting ties when reputations start bleeding money. Zegler is not just a PR risk anymore, she's becoming a box office liability. Studios can't ensure chaos, investors don't bankroll ego, and audiences don't forget the face behind the drama. If the rumors are true, and a recast is genuinely on the table, this isn't just another film fallout. This is the industry finally waking up and asking, what are we even getting in return? The answer increasingly seems to be not enough. Zegler hasn't shown growth, humility, or even acknowledged the wreckage she's left behind on project after project. Instead, she remains trapped in a feedback loop of performative defiance, smirking through controversy as if it's a brand strategy. But the audience isn't laughing anymore. They're done waiting for a turnaround that never comes. The silence from Hollywood's elite isn't a sign of support withheld, it's support revoked. After the implosion of Snow White, the months of mounting backlash, and now with the fate of She Gets It From Me hanging by a thread, we must ask, is it finally over for Rachel Zegler, or will Hollywood give her yet another chance she may not deserve? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video on your screen is waiting, and trust me, you won't believe what's coming next.